much for being here tonight, all of the students that are in the class, as well as all the guests that are with us. This is the second to the last lecture in this series for the semester. It's hard to believe it's almost over. So tonight we have 5 student companies pitching to this esteemed panel of judges, and we'll introduce them in just a minute. Just as a reminder, we have one more lecture next week. It's Paul Wiebel, the founder of Econopack. Look up his website, learn more about him, but he's an incredible entrepreneur. He's been an entrepreneur his entire life. He's built many, many companies and is a very generous donor to many causes around the United States. So he'll be here next time, and that'll be our last lecture. And then if you're in the class, you know that a week after the last lecture, there is a really brief paper due. It's called a reflection paper, where you simply write down some things that you learned that were really valuable for you in this class. If you go to Canvas, you can read those instructions. There's a lot of ideas there of what you might put in that paper. Don't stress about it. You just need to turn in something that shows that you learned some things in this class, and that is due 1 week after our last lecture, so 2 weeks from tonight. So with that, I'm going to turn the time over to Russell Fisher. He's the Associate Director, our partner at the Center for Entrepreneurship, and he has organized this event tonight, so we'll turn it over to Russell now.
I hope you're all excited to be here. That's when you're supposed to cheer and stuff and clap for that. Okay. I've never been very good at doing the whole cheerleader, let's get a cheer for everyone. So you just, anytime I stop, you can clap, and that would be great. So yeah, there we go. All right, I was able to meet with some of you. We've got some high school students here who have some incredible businesses. We're going to see them up here in a few years. If not next year, so we're excited to have them here as our guests. We're also excited for so many people from the community, and of course our Aggies who are here week after week. This is an exciting night, the Shark Tank pitch. Yes, it is. We have incredible businesses here at Utah State. This is an opportunity to showcase these businesses. We have many businesses that are doing, incredible amounts of revenue, businesses that, people who have left and now have become worldwide household names. And this is a wonderful opportunity to showcase these and give them some support. So we're going to introduce our judges here, a wonderful panel of judges. Following that, we're going to have 5 pitches, and we'll let the students kind of introduce themselves. Following these pitches, we're going to go into a room. These judges are going to be really judgy, because that's what their title is, and they're going to pick how much money to give each one of these teams. During that time, we've picked 3 young entrepreneurs who have businesses that they've also developed that haven't got revenue yet, but they'd like to show it off. So we're going to give them, each of them are going to have 3 minutes to pitch, and then you're going to choose which one of those you like. And we'll talk a little bit about eWeek. We'll give out some awards, and then at the end of the night, before the ice cream, we're also going to announce we've got at least 3 student businesses this year that have hit $50,000 in revenue, so they're part of the 50K club. If there's other students out there, let us know, and we'll honor them. Thank you for the woo. So, all right. So that's the way the night's going to go. I'm going to welcome this group. These are some of my favorite people. I've only met Bryant twice now, but he's now becoming one of my favorite people. We had a nice conversation earlier today. We're going to go from right to left. This is Bryant White. Bryant White is he's a part of our founders board, a supporter of the students here, and one of the founders of Fox Pest Control. Your background was in sales before that, and then you did pretty well, and so you started a whole company in that. Now they sold last year for $350 million, so they did pretty well. So. I'll have to say, though, I'm a little concerned because your degree is in biological engineering. He started a pest control company. Now he's got access to a lot of money, so that sounds like a villain backstory. So we'll kind of have to see what's going to happen there. All right, next to him is someone who's going to try and one-up him, because this is Amy Rees Anderson, the managing director of Rees Capital, or managing partner of Rees Capital. Amy started MetaConnect. She's an inspiration to so many individuals here as someone who really said, I've got to make my future myself, right? And she did that. She sold her company for $377 million a few years ago. So she did one up that. So. she's won many prestigious awards. She's a wonderful person to get to know, and she has a thing for Idahoans, so we got to get on well with that. That's Julia. Okay. Next, we have Gene Spaulding. Gene Spaulding is from the Valley here, an Aggie as well. Gene is, he has a background in finance, but a few years ago, 2006, started SAL Management, which now manages 30 assisted care facilities, mostly in the Intermountain West, in that area. Wonderful person, just has a wonderful, kind heart, has a wonderful family. He's one of the top 4 or 5 pizza makers in his family, fourth or fifth, so I don't know where that is. So this is Gene Spaulding. We're so happy to have him here. And then we had Shalon Keller, who stepped in to sub as one of our last judges, and we're so excited to have her back judging. She is an associate professor here. She's with the Center for Entrepreneurship. She's a champion for students and advocate for them as well, a wonderful mentor. She's won many awards for that, and her background is as a civilian leader in the U.S. Air Force. She won numerous awards. She managed a budget of more than $6 billion. She worked with C-130s, F-16s, and A-10s. And she's just a really wonderful person, a good friend of mine, one of my best friends. And she's going to organize my Memorial 5K run after I pass away in 2084. So we're excited for that as well. So thank you. All right, so that's what we have. Now, you're not here to listen to me, so without further ado, we're going to invite our students up here. So Ben, if you want to start making your way up here. This is what's going to happen. They're going to get 3 minutes to pitch. We're going to have 5 minutes for a Q&A. We have Emily here, who is the mean one, so if anyone gets mad, it's her fault. She's the one, and she's going to do a little, except better, I think, hopefully. There, when they're done. So I'm going to be giving some time signals over here, so that's what I'll be doing, so don't worry about me. And yeah, so, and then following Ben, we have Reagan, right? You guys have the list, right? Okay, all right, here we go. Bleeped.
Does this work?
We literally tested this like 38 times before this started. All right, well, we'll figure this out. All right, there we go.
Awesome.
Yep, okay.
Okay, hello Sharks. My name is Benjamin Barnes, and I'm the founder of Bleeped. Bleeped is the first and only AI-powered censoring software. Bleeped uses patent-pending technology to remove vulgarity from online content. Okay, so I'm going to show you an example of how it works. We're going to watch a clip from the music video of Thrift Shop, but this time the video has been bleeped.
I'm gonna pop some tags. Only got $20 in my pocket. I'm hunting, looking for a come up. This is so.
Now, walk into the club like, what up? I got a big pumped. I bought some fresh shop. Ice on the fringe is so the people like
cold.
rolling in. Headed to the mezzanine, dressed in all pink. Set my gator shoes, those are green. Draped in a leopard mink. Girl standing next to me. Probably should have washed this. Smells like R. Kelly sheets. Piss. But 99 cents.
Awesome. So Bleeped works for any YouTube video, and it does not violate any copyright laws. I first found this problem with my 2 younger sisters. One day they were watching a random YouTube video, and while the content was good, the language was just horrible. And I knew there had to be a solution to protect them. And that's where we came up with Bleeped. This is the homepage of Bleeped, where the user can add their account, see their watch time, and start the bleeping process. For a personalized experience, they can add their own custom words and adjust the vulgarity buffer. And once the process starts, we let you know how long it's taking for your video to be bleeped, and then we give you the results, telling you exactly how many words were detected and then bleeped. Did you know 80% of parents say that their children watch YouTube? And 46% of them say that their children encounter inappropriate content while on YouTube. And my guess is that the other 54% are really good at hiding what they actually watch from their parents. Now we offer a free trial followed by a monthly subscription starting at $4.99 a month, $14.99 a month, and $29.99 a month. We've just recently launched, and we already have 30 people who have installed and actively use Bleeped. Now, one of our goals is to set strategic partnerships with schools, governments, social media platforms, and other apps. We do this to have a win-win opportunity with these organizations. Now, we do have some competitors. VidAngel and ClearPlay are also in the same field, but their focus is on movies and TV shows, where we focus on social media and online content. They also manually analyze the videos, meaning they pay someone to do it, while we use artificial intelligence to do so. Now, with the use of additional capital, and the reason we're here seeking investment is to do two things: to improve the accuracy and the accessibility of Bleep through a mobile application, and to acquire additional intellectual property, such as trademarks for our name and logo. Now, our vision is to help others stay connected without sacrificing their standards. Think exactly what Bleep allows you to do. Bleep allows you to stay connected with your favorite content and creators without sacrificing your standards. Parents, grandparents, think about it. Now you can have the peace of mind when your children's online, knowing that they will not come across anything that you do not want them to hear. So Sharks, who's ready to invest and help us revolutionize the way parents protect their children online? Thank you.
I'll just start off. First of all, phenomenal, great presentation, loved it, loved the concept. Tell us just a little bit about where you are in your business right now.
Yeah, so we just launched around 5 weeks ago. It took us around 6 months to develop the software. And now since we've launched, we've kept the numbers kind of small to test for bugs. But now since we're past that point, we're looking to grow and to expand.
How do you plan to scale?
Yeah, and so all of our research and developing with our servers makes it very easy to scale. So as more people use it, our servers automatically open up. And as we go into mobile application and go into TikTok, Instagram, and other social platforms, it's going to allow us to reach a lot more people.
So right now, it's specific for YouTube, correct?
Correct, yeah.
And is it just specific to the swear words, or is there other content that you're automatically filtering?
Yeah, so at the moment it's just swear words, but we do allow you to customize it, enabling you to say, if your family's more strict and you don't want the word gun, you can put gun in there and it'll take that out as well.
And then you talked about something about intellectual property. What is it that you're protecting?
Yeah, so we have a patent pending on our software using AI to censor videos and audio.
Does that eliminate the Googles or the bigger players to come in and do this?
Yeah.
As they're already, Microsoft, they're already in this space, AI space, quite heavily. How do you separate yourself from them?
Yeah, so our patent is the application of using AI in this space, of using it for censoring and filtering online content.
Specific for streaming services, or specific for YouTube, or?
So specific for all social media and online platforms as well. So YouTube, and we also thought ahead into TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, and other social platforms too.
Ben, what is your marketing strategy?
Our marketing strategy is really focused on where our target market's at. So we're not trying to push to TikTok, we're focusing on Facebook, YouTube, and places where those parents in our target market would be at.
You said that you're really not infringing on any copyright laws or anything like that. How have you, what assurance do you have on that, and who have you talked to?
Yeah, so we talked to a couple different lawyers about it, and VidAngel had a lot of problems with this, and what they did is they would take other people's content and put it on their own platform and edit that, while we keep it on the platform, for example, YouTube, we keep it on there, and we actually just mute the volume of the device, making it so we actually don't infringe on editing the video.
Have you received any customer feedback?
Yes, we've seen a lot of customer feedback. We were actually in the Utah Entrepreneurship Challenge, and we won the People's Choice Award for this idea, or for this product.
How much have you put into the business so far, and do you have other investors?
So far, I have no other investors. I've put around $700 into this, just in developing and getting it out there.
And how much money are you looking for? Like, what is the need you have right now, and what are you going to do with that money?
Yeah, so we're looking for $2,000 at the moment, so that way we can develop it more and make it more accessible to all people.
What are your projections? What are you revenue-wise, and break even, or when will you break even?
Yeah, so we're actually already profitable in our business model. We already broke it even, and by the end of the year, we want to be on every social platform and have more than 5,000 users.
Which equates to?
Which equates to around $50,000 to $60,000.
Okay.
Well, as a mom and a grandma, thank you for what you're trying to do. We think it's awesome. We're big fans of the VidAngel service for the other content, and hopefully you can stream other stuff as well and add filters to that.
Yeah.
Good job.
So there's people that have really, they've been bloodied on this battlefield. We all watched as the VidAngel guys just slugged it out. And have you reached out to any of those guys to learn from them about kind of their process and what counsel they would have?
Yes, I haven't reached out to VidAngel directly, but ClearPay, I have the number of the CEO, and we're in constant communications about the best ways to do it and best ways to reach that target market as well.
It's awesome. Nice job.
Smarty Pants Preschool in Pleasant View, Utah, Level Up provides academic support for kindergarten through 6th grade students. With a dedicated team of tutors, we specialize in academic mentoring, tutoring, and homework help across various subjects. We attribute our students' success to our personalized curriculum, individualized instruction, and emphasis on social-emotional learning. It's this tailored approach that propels each student towards their academic goals. At Level Up Learning, we're committed to helping students reach their fullest potential. Come join us as we level up towards academic success.
Hi Sharks, my name is Regan Rogers and I am the owner of Level Up Learning. I often get asked, is tutoring really necessary, especially for kids that are still so young? And my answer to that is yes, and let me tell you why. Since COVID-19, test scores in the state of Utah have decreased heavily. Not only that, we have seen limited access to affordable tutoring and a high student-to-teacher ratio inside of our district. Now, Level Up Learning has seen extreme success, especially within the first 3 months of our students attending our program. We've seen a 60.18% increase in our students' test scores. Now, Level Up Learning does 30-minute sessions for tutoring and academic mentoring. Our sessions range from individual and group sessions.
Okay, are we ready now? Okay, good, awesome. Okay, hopefully everybody heard everything, but we'll keep going. Okay, so we do 30-minute sessions, $20 for individual and $35 for group. Okay, so since 2019, our revenue has been $48,000. Our profit margin has been 65.98%, and our projected revenue for 2024 is $24,000. Now, Level Up Learning has the potential to be something much bigger. Here in the near future, we plan on first establishing new locations in Cache Valley and creating relationships with local preschools similar to what we have with Smarty Pants Preschool. Second, start franchise operations. And third, we want to get Level Up online through an AI platform, and the curriculum will be based off of each student's district and county that they are located in. Perfect. Well, today I am seeking $2,000 in my business, and what I'll be doing with that is hiring 2 additional tutors in my current location in Pleasant View. Hiring those 2 tutors will open up 24 new tutoring slots, and that will generate about $11,500 in revenue within just 6 months. Now, Sharks, who's ready to level up and make a difference, not only here in our community, but for generations to come? Thank you.
Great presentation, and way to catch yourself when the mic wasn't working. Okay, so one of my questions is, is the secret sauce to what you're doing the fact you're using these facilities that are just unutilized at night? Do you feel like that's what makes a difference with your strategy here?
Yeah, so that's true. So Level Up Learning is located out of Smarty Pants Preschool, and we have a mutually beneficial relationship. So we actually do not pay rent to Smarty Pants Preschool. Because we are marketing to the same audience, we've just been playing off of each other, and it's been super awesome. But I would say what really makes us different is our individualized curriculum and having one-on-one sessions with students. You're gonna find in a lot of other tutoring businesses that you're gonna about have 4 students to 1 tutor ratio, and I feel like that's where we stand out the most.
And scalability-wise, how do you scale this, right? I mean, it sounds like you're thinking of franchising. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so we're looking into franchising, and then as I said, we're gonna try to get Level Up Learning online. That has been a huge thing, is online learning and online tutoring. But yeah.
Where do you get your curriculum, and how does that vet it out to meet the needs and improve the kids' learning?
Yeah, so we do individualized curriculum. So what we do is our tutors assess each student to see their needs. And then based off of their needs, we fill in the gaps. But something that we do different with that as well is we work side by side with the Weber School District curriculum, because that's where we're located. We want to make sure that our students are familiar with the way that they're being tested and make sure that they are knowing how to do the math that they're being taught in school. So while we do have individualized curriculum and fill in their gaps, we're also working with their Weber School District curriculum, doing it that way too. So,
what is your vetting process to hire competent, qualified, caring tutors?
Yeah, for sure. So through our hiring process, we're just looking for people that have experience working with young kids, passionate about education, and really what's important is that they have some experience working with either tutoring or in the classroom. But really what's important is how we train our tutors. So really, we just need to make sure that those people are passionate and trainable. So we do 2 to 4 week trainings before any of our tutors start training in the first place. And we teach them how to read report cards. If you've ever read those before, holy cow, they can be crazy. But read report cards, be able to assess the students, and go from there. So.
I just have a couple of questions. First of all, I love the passion behind it, and I love your drive, and I really like you. I think you're terrific.
Thank you.
So you're talking about one-to-one. Is that what you're saying? You have one tutor for one student? I would assume the reason they go 4-to-1 typically is for profitability. So what's kind of your profitability vision, and how are you kind of overcoming that gap?
Yeah, so like I said, we do individual and we do group sessions. So it is still an option for people that feel like maybe their student learns better with a friend, or maybe we even have lots of students that come in together from the same classroom. So our individual sessions is 1 tutor to 1 student, and our group sessions are 2 students to 1 tutor. So we're still providing that option, and then if anybody ever wants somebody else to come in and do a third, we can always consider that as well, but we mostly just do the 2. So.
That's great. I love the connection between the curriculum provider, the tutor, and the student. I think that's a critical connection, and nice job on that. My next question is maybe just related to one before, would be a little bit about, have you tackled background screening and child safety training and things like, are you recording the sessions to make sure that there's nothing inappropriate happening?
No, that's actually a great question. So in Smarty Pants Preschool, we have video cameras to ensure safety for our students. Our doors are also locked, and we have doorbells in case people need to come and pick up their student early, just so we know that they're there. But we are there after hours, and it can be later at night, and so we do that for safety issues. But in terms of getting our tutors background checked, they are fingerprinted through the state, so we do make sure to go through those precautions so everybody is safe, yes.
How are you marketing to find new students?
Yeah, so our marketing, we're on all social media platforms. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, lots of Facebook mom pages throughout our community. But also one of our biggest things that we've been doing to market is getting involved in the community through local nonprofit organizations. So we work very well with a local nonprofit organization, the Pledge Star. And what they do is help children in our area be able to participate in extracurricular activities. So what we've been able to do is partner with them, and we have about 2 students on average every single year that are on scholarship through the Pledge Star. So we've been able to market through them in their events, and usually those have about 2,000 families that attend at each event. So, okay, awesome. Thank you, guys.
Is my mic working? Okay, good. Hi, Sharks. My name's Colton Jones, also known as the Bug Guy, and I'm co-owner of Pure Pest Solutions, the premier option for pest control here in northern Utah. Just over a year ago, 2 of my friends and I decided to set out on a crazy journey to start and own our own business. Today, we're killing bugs and we're taking the industry by storm. At Pure Pest Solutions, we stand out because we care about smart pest control. We have a unique billing, we bill monthly, and we have a unique service schedule. We come out once every other month, no scheduled service in the winter. This ensures you get effective pest control without unnecessary services. You get the bug help you need when you need it without the extra fuss or fees. That is our promise. Basically, what all this means is that we put our customers first. Everything we do is tailored to what the customer needs. Sorry. For example, the norm in the industry is to charge extra for additional little services, while at Pure, we include those for the best possible customer experience. Since starting at Pure Pest Solutions, we have exceeded expectations and surpassed goals. In our first year, we did over $400,000 in revenue on a 65% profit margin, and now have 900 recurring customers. And we're just getting warmed up. This year is going to be even bigger.
We are currently expanding into eastern Idaho and St. George, and we currently have 14 salespeople contracted in northern Utah and another 7 ready to go in Idaho. This means that we're expecting to gain over 3,000 customers over the next 5 months. And all this hard work means we're looking to make more than $1.5 million in contracted revenue before the end of the summer. Sharks, I want to emphasize something that we truly care about here at Pure Pest Solutions. This year, we're going to have an amazing team of 26 hardworking people. What this has taught me is that it's not all about generating profits or killing bugs. It's about the opportunity we have to positively impact the lives and the future of these people. So when investing in Pure Pest Solutions, you're not just investing in a business, you're investing in people. If I am so fortunate to receive funding, it will be put to immediate use. We are in need of another truck before the summer starts to service all those accounts. So it will be put towards a $5,000 truck and equipment needed to outfit that truck for the services. So Sharks, are you ready to join me and squash the competition?
It's probably a pretty lucky thing for you that this guy just sold his pest control company.
No, I don't kill as many bugs as him.
We'll turn it over to the expert.
Oh, gee, you know what? I'm sorry I'm even here. I'm probably making you terribly nervous. You're doing such a good job. Colton, I'm a big fan. If you're wondering, I'm a huge fan. So what are your biggest challenges you're facing right now? By the way, that truck looks just like the first truck I bought, and I love that you're going to buy a truck for $5,000. It's exactly what we paid for our first truck. Had 105,000 miles and had like farmer burlap on the seats, and it's great. So I love you're being conservative. What are your biggest challenges though right now?
With expansion, it is expensive, obviously. Expansion is more expensive than we would ever think, or we thought. So that is our biggest problem right now, is when expanding. We are tight on cash, even though we've done so much. We're kind of doubling down on this year. So that has been our biggest challenge. We've had to pretty much not take any money. My wife's in the audience, she doesn't like that, but...
Hang in there, you're gonna be all right. Where are you? Where is she? Give that girl a round of applause.
But yeah, that has been a big issue.
Yeah, Colton, don't be intimidated by him. Use him as motivation, okay?
Okay.
And go for big things. You're well on your way, so great job. This is very exciting to see someone still in school and achieving great results like this, so great job. I am curious, though, working capital scaling is very challenging. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit more how you plan to do that. Your website says, it's all about Utah, mm-hmm. But now you're moving into Idaho. What markets do you want to enter, and how are you going to do that and compete against the other people?
We don't really have any, the reason why we're expanding into Idaho, it kind of just fell into our lap. There are some people that wanted to start up a branch, and we gave them that opportunity. So we don't really have any more plans as far as to expanding across the country, if that makes sense.
Can I ask why?
No plans. No plan yet. We want to.
His wife's in the audience. Yeah. Give the guy a break, okay?
We do want to scale as much as we can, and one day I can be like him. But for now, we're sticking at these 3. But yeah.
I'm curious to know, you said that you don't come and spray during the winter, mm-hmm. right? But how are you handling that from a labor perspective? How are you keeping your labor force going when you're just seasonal like that?
Yep, so that's a big reason why people do quarterly services, is just to ensure cash flow and labor. In our first year, we haven't had a big issue with that. It's pretty easy to hire people looking for summer jobs and stuff just to come spray. And we have offset the cash flow by billing monthly. So even though they have those scheduled services just during the spring to the fall, they still get billed year-round, because they can still call us. We'll come out for free during the winter. We just don't want to schedule them a service when there's 3 feet of snow on the ground, and make them pay, whatever. So yeah.
Colton, you say your goal and your company's goal is to provide exceptional customer service.
Yeah.
Have you received customer feedback that indicates you have achieved or are achieving that goal?
Oh yeah. Yeah, so I actually still service. I service today, actually, 8 homes today. But so every time I service a home, I ask if there is anything that I can, or that they have noticed that could make their experience better. One thing we had an issue last year was our phone service. We used a free one, which is not a good idea. But this year we've changed it, and a lot of customers are already noticing that that has drastically changed. So.
Do you have any more questions? But one quick question. How do you differentiate yourself? There's a lot of new pest control. I mean, this is kind of the big deal. You know, everybody in Utah is starting a pest control company. What are you doing to separate yourself from them?
Yep, so the biggest thing is we are the only major sales company here in Utah that does that bi-monthly service. So from a sales perspective, when you're on the door, anything you can do to differentiate yourself a little bit from a pest control company is huge. So that was the big reason why we were able to achieve so much success last year, was because a little bit of differentiation goes a long way in a saturated market like this. And we do a premium service that a lot of companies here just don't care to push as far as that, if that makes sense.
What is the customer retention rate?
So we had a cancellation rate of 10% last year. So yeah. Oh, I can be the first one to get billed.
Good job.
Thank you.
Hi Sharks, my name is Melissa Juarez and I am the owner and founder of Juarez Home by Design. Now, as college students, we're often asked the same 3 questions. What's your name? Where are you from? What's your major? Well, I sometimes like to tell people to guess what my major is because it's not interior design and you probably wouldn't guess it either. So when I tell them that it's technology systems, then I have to go back and I have to tell them all this background information, like I have my associate's degree in drafting technology, and then I moved to Logan, and then I went to Bridgerland for my interior design certificate, which, by the way, did you know that Utah State has an interior design program? Because I didn't. So instead of finishing my program and getting a job afterwards like a normal person, I enrolled halfway through getting my certification at Utah State and started to work towards my bachelor's degree and a minor in entrepreneurship. And one of my favorite quotes from one of my entrepreneurship classes, Professor Creech said, "Why climb a ladder when you can build it?" And so that's what I did. So in just 1 month, in the start of January, I launched my own interior design business. In the month of February, I began to push marketing, do Facebook marketing, and I began to join every Facebook group that I could think of. Every interior design group, every marketing, every real estate, every home building group that I could think of. And I began to get my first leads. My first customer not only led me to help me to redo her mother-in-law's kitchen, but also she connected me with a partnership that I'm continuing to do business with. In just 1 month, I had a growth rate of 200% with a projected increase of 37% for next month. I have a 94% profit margin, and by next year, I'm on track to make over $30,000. So in just 1 month, I did over $900 in revenue, and in just 2 months, I've built strategic partnerships with real estate agents, home builders, and other design firms who continue to collaborate with and do business with. In just 2 months, I went from nothing to almost full capacity. My plans for the future are to diversify my revenue streams and venture into commercial design and even custom furniture design. These expansions will broaden my market position and position me as a competitor in the industry. Sharks, with your investment, I'll be able to acquire equipment like a $4,000 professional remeasurement tool to streamline my process and add greater value to my clients. I invite you to consider the impact that you're making beyond the numbers and helping me create spaces that feel like home.
Excellent job, Melissa, and enjoyed your presentation. Interior design, how do you, it's a very intensive business from a time standpoint.
Yes.
How do you plan on managing your time and your capacity to scale and grow this business where it can lend itself to leaning more towards you as an individual and your vision, and how do you plan on scaling and growing that?
I plan on hiring partners and employees who share that vision with me and who have that skill set and that mindset to not only do the work to help their creative mindset, but also help others as well.
So you said you just started this in January, right?
Yes.
Of this year?
Yeah.
And so how are you trying to differentiate yourself where you don't have a lot of necessarily pictures to put up of places you've done yet because you're just getting started? How are you going about letting people know what your style is and what your vision is?
Yeah, so I'm very client focused. I'm very one-on-one with my clients to tailor to what they want and not necessarily my style. So it's always what the client wants and help them execute their vision rather than helping them tailor to my portfolio.
And how are you getting them to take a risk on you where you're new and you don't have this referral base to lean on? What are you doing to try to get people to kind of take a risk on you?
So I've been lucky. I've been able to get referrals from my current partners and from my current clients. And so that's been really good, as I've been getting a lot of good feedback from my current clients.
Melissa, tell me a little bit about your strategic partnerships.
My strategic partnerships. So I've been able to partner with Berkshire Hathaway with real estate agents. So I do interior staging for them. And then with rental properties, I do interior renderings for their showcases. And another studio that's in Park City, I do subcontracting for them as well.
Thank you for being here and for a great presentation. I love your vision and love your passion. Who are your mentors right now that you have that are kind of helping you to shape the way you think about growing and building your
I have
business?
so many mentors, not only my professors in my entrepreneurship classes who have supported me through everything. They always push me to do better and to be better. But I have been able to intern for designers here in the Valley as well as builders and things like that. So I've been able to get a lot of help through my previous instructors as well.
What is your fee scale, and how, if I were a client, what do you base that upon?
So with my partners, it's an hourly basis. So I base them $30 an hour. And so that's how I build that. But with other clients, it's on a project by project basis.
So on a new construction, if I came to you and said I'm building a new house, what would that fee structure look like?
It would be an hourly fee structure.
Okay.
Do you have any partnerships with furniture stores to be able to make a markup on furniture and sales on those products that you're placing in the homes, or no, not yet?
Not any partnerships, but I do have a markup for my sourcing and allocation of projects.
What are you seeing in 5 years and 10 years and 15 years? Is this something that you plan to stick with for a long time and kind of build an empire?
Yes.
You know, like, who is that, McGee or whoever that is, Studio McGee? Like,
yes. So yeah, I plan to eventually want to have my own interior design studio and be able to have a full team and eventually be able to have more than one studio in different locations. Take it out of Utah.
Have you considered retail on the side of that?
I have, actually. There's so many little things that I want to do, but I have to keep it to one for now.
Good job. All right. Good job, Melissa.
Thank you.
Gene volunteers to be your guinea pig on that board.
Let's give it a little edited Macklemore on there.
Okay, hello. My name is Kevin, this is Amy, and this is Zach. And we are the creators of Velocity Boards.
When it comes to electric longboarding, there are three big problems that consumers face. The first problem is stability. Because a longboard is one piece, if you hit a bumper crack, or if you're going fast, it can start to shake and throw you off because it's just that one piece. The second problem is storage. They're becoming very popular for commuting to class and to work. But once you get to work, most people just hide it in a corner somewhere or throw it in the bushes and hope no one takes it. And the third issue is agility. Longboards and electric longboards are designed to make those deep, long carves, but they can't make quick, sharp turns.
With the Velocity Edge, we combined the stability of a longboard with the agility of a ripstick and made it electric. Using the torsion bar and physics, we were able to solve these three problems. The way that the Velocity Edge solves the problem of speed wobble is when the board is experiencing wobbling, the torsion bar enables each deck to react separately, counteracting the wobble and restoring stability. As you can see, our board also twists like a ripstick, allowing it to make much sharper turns, and it comes apart to fit in that backpack.
Electric skateboarding is a $3 billion industry, and several of our competitors, including One Wheel, have experienced major recalls on their boards for safety issues. Our boards doesn't have this, which gives us an opportunity to reach out to our consumers and give them a more reliable and sustainable board.
Our main skills are in marketing, engineering, and management. Through these skills, we were able to launch a successful Kickstarter where we raised $16,500. We also filed a utility patent to protect our intellectual property rights.
If you look at the basic specifications for our board versus the One Wheel Pint, one of our close competitors, you'll see that our board retails for a lower price and has a higher range and top speed. So we're right where we want to be in our market.
We have established our supply chain in China and the US. Our boards are assembled here, and we mostly market through Facebook and Instagram. This leads our consumers to our website where we collect their emails, and then we use that for remarketing, and then our boards are shipped through FedEx.
Our board is very popular among electric skateboarders, but a lot of our college-age friends have requested a cheaper version, which is why we want to launch a new version that's smaller, which is a little bit more portable and a lot cheaper. That way we can get into this college market a lot more, and they can fit a laptop in with their backpack. Laptop in their backpack with their board, which is why we need your help, Sharks. We're doing this, all on our own bootstrapping. We'd love your help finding investors and scaling our business because we believe we can be huge.
Our main goal right now is to boost our pre-orders. So,
Very cool. I own a One Wheel myself, and it's a lot of fun. And I've yet to break my wrist, so I'm happy about that. Tell me, this is kind of a big deal. Where did you get your capital to build this? Are you selling, I guess, first off?
yes, we are selling.
Oh, okay. Where did you get your capital to prototype, build, and source this?
We work full-time and go to school full-time, but ultimately we bought a 3D printer and prototyped it out, and then once we had a good printer, we launched on Kickstarter, which gave us the initial funds to get injection molds and to actually get out the boards. So 11 of our boards are worldwide. We have some in Germany, Australia, and Canada.
Cool. So I was on Amazon before I came looking at boards, and there's a ton of people selling electric boards, right? How do you differentiate yourself from the market? If I was to go onto Amazon, how would I find that board when there's so many others on there?
That's a great question. There are a ton of boards out there, but they're just a huge range of specs and prices. And ultimately, we're trying to really differentiate ourselves by being a board that is safer, because it doesn't, you can go over more terrain with this board because it's independent. And it's also a little more fun. You can turn way sharper, you go more places, and so it just is a whole lot different of a product, and so we're trying to differentiate and just get out of that skateboard idea.
I would just like to add to that any board that you buy on Amazon will last you probably 2 or 3 months because they're all from China.
How did you determine the price point on that?
So we did a 40% profit margin off of our cost of goods sold. So we determined we use parts from Backfire, which are from China, And we looked at their boards. The same spec board that sells from Backfire is about 1,100. So we went down a little bit to sell a little bit more, but we based it upon our cost of goods sold and the competition.
Who is your target market for this board? Is this for like a fun board for just people messing around, or is it for a commuter? Like, what is it you're trying to target with this?
Yeah, we're trying to kind of hit a few different markets and establish our markets. This one, like, is the all-terrain version. So this can go anywhere. It's got super powerful motors, but we want to make boards more customizable. Where it comes apart, we can make different pieces for it and just get into any market we want. Like, we can make a different front piece for this so people can just buy the front. But we're trying to get into all sorts of different markets just by making it customizable.
This board, though, is probably marketed from a target audience of 20 to 35. Most of our customers are actually older, probably because they have the money.
How much did you say it was?
It's $1,000.
$1,000.
Yep.
And how are you handling the liability issues, right? I mean,
So that's a good question. So we have learned from the mistakes of our competitors, right? One Wheel and the hoverboard had a lot of battery fires, and One Wheel had the whole stopping function, right? So we've set stipulations upon our manufacturers to build quality products, such as our battery. It's encased in a plastic casing, and then encased in a battery box. We also have a fiberglass bottom, so if it does catch on fire, there's nothing to burn. We have also have the how-to manual and the warning labels placed on our board. This is a prototype. We've sold all the...
Which no man has ever read, ever.
Yep, and then ultimately when it comes down to it, business insurance and the network system.
How much do you really need?
30,000 is what we really need, but 2,000 to really, like, we're bootstrapping this, so we're both finance majors. We've put annual revenue off of just our money, our capital, and next year we should make about 135,000 based on selling 11 boards a month.
And you've put how much in so far?
I don't know, like 10,000.
Okay. Nice job, you guys.
Thank you.
Demonstrate it, though. You gotta see how it works.
Okay, just so you know, you can ride this in nice clothes. So,
Let's give another round of applause to all of our pitchers. Yeah. All right, so the most incredible thing we did was we stayed on time, which we've never done before, so that's a big deal. We're going to go in there and see if we can continue to stay on time, and while we do this, we're going to turn this over to Logan to kind of take on the next area of this class.
Wasn't that awesome? I think it was awesome.
To the skateboard guys, you cannot sell one of those to my husband in the front row.
All right, guys, so I'm just going to make a super quick announcement, but just so you kind of know where the class is going next is we're going to have a few more pitches, like Russell mentioned, of emerging businesses, and then once they're done pitching, you guys are going to be able to get online and vote, like, kind of for the audience favorite. So, but first I'm going to make a quick announcement about eWeek. So let's see, that's going to take me a minute to get there. Just bear with me. So next week, the Entrepreneurship Center is having what we call eWeek. We do it every year. It's awesome. We've got a few super cool activities. So Monday, April 8th, we're calling it Costa and Kindness. There's someone named Curtis Bennett. He's an owner of a nonprofit that basically encourages people to do one kind act a day. And he's going to be speaking to us. He actually has a partner with Mr. Beast, the YouTuber. So if you know who that is, they're going to be doing a lot of cool stuff. And the first 150 people that come get free Costa Vida. So just keep that in mind. On Tuesday, we're doing something called Sip and Socialize, so there are going to be free whips, drinks there, and we're going to talk about everything the Entrepreneurship Center has to offer, like our seed program, mentoring, minors, stuff like that. And then on Wednesday, everyone that's in the class should be here anyway, but we're going to have Intermountain Growth Awards, and like Dr. Glauser said, we're going to listen to Paul Wiebel, talk about his career, learn a lot of cool things from him, and as per usual, you get ice cream after. And then finally, on Thursday, we're going to have our Startup Farmers Market, where a lot of students are going to come in with their businesses and their products, and they're going to be out on the quad actually selling their things and showing off their businesses. So there will also be food there, free food, so you know I'm there. But yeah, so make sure to put that in your calendars and be ready for next week. We'll also send an email in about it after in the class. But let's turn it over to our short pitches here. Let's see, where did we add them? Okay. Who's up? You're up. All right. And I forgot your name. Dallin? Let's give Dallin a round of applause.
Let's put it on my website.
Do you want it up? You want your website up?
Oh, yes, please. This will be a little strange for me because I'm not pitching to the Sharks, I'm pitching to you guys. And also sitting next to Ben, I felt a little bit underdressed, so work with me here. But I'm super excited to be able to speak to you guys tonight just for a few minutes about something that I've been working on now for about 5 months and I'm really, really excited about, and that is fullbuy.gg. So I'll start off with a question. Can anybody raise their hand that is familiar with the game Counter-Strike? Oh, I'm so excited. We have so many people in the room. I was worried there'd be nobody. So for those that don't know, Counter-Strike is a game that was released in 2012, so it's about 12 years old. If you were to check at any given time right now how many players are online playing that game, it would be between 700,000 and 1.5 million. One of the reasons that Counter-Strike has been so successful for so long is the in-game items market. So there are skins in Counter-Strike, which are digital cosmetic items that can be bought, sold, and traded for real-world money. The market for those items as of today, I just checked, because I check it all the time, is $3.29 billion. So over the past 12 years, numerous sites, dozens of marketplaces and trading sites have popped up to facilitate the buying and selling of those items between users. The biggest problem that those sites face, the users of those sites face, is for casual users that have these items. Maybe they don't know what the market value is. Maybe they don't know how to access these marketplaces. They don't have the bank account to connect to these marketplaces. They don't want to wait for the sale to happen because it's a long process and it's really involved even for someone like myself who is more involved in this ecosystem. And so that's where my product comes in, fullbuy.gg. This is our website that just launched recently. It's just a prototype. It's just the front end. It's not fully functional, and the text is mostly filler text, lorem ipsum type stuff. But it should be enough to hopefully help you understand what I'm trying to do. So the user logs in with Steam. They log in with their Steam account because that is what they're already used to doing with Counter-Strike, right? It's the easiest integration possible. If you could click on the Cash Out tab up there on the top, after they log in with Steam, they're redirected to this page where their items from their inventory are shown with the price that I'm willing to pay for those items, and that price is instant. They get that within 5 minutes. It's a 5-minute transaction. So you can go around, you can click on a few of these items here, and on the left, you'll see these different cash out options. So the user can select a cash out option like Bitcoin, Ethereum, different cryptocurrencies, working on integrating bank withdrawal right now. They enter their withdrawal information, and then they can scroll down and hit Get Paid Now. And this is the 5-minute transaction like I talked about. It's instant, it's safe and secure, and they get paid, right? So the one question you're all thinking right now is, how do I make money with this? I make money with this off the convenience factor, right? They don't have to go and worry about finding their item's value and going through all that hassle. I'll give it to them up front and I'll tell them what I'm going to pay for it. And that's 85 to 95% of the item's market value. And then I turn around and I resell that item at about 98 to 100% of the market value. So I'm super excited for this. I'm going to keep working on this. But one way that you guys can help me, especially those of you that raised your hands earlier that are familiar with this space, I've got a Google form set up. It's at tinyurl.com/full buy feedback. So I'd really appreciate if any of you would go in there. It's just 2 questions and help me out. But thanks for letting me ramble for a little bit.
All right, let's give it up for Hayden.
All right. Let's see. I'm just going to hold this. How we all doing? Oh, yeah. I know you guys are having fun. These guys are definitely having fun. All right. Well, my name is Hayden Earl, and I've started a little company called Vici Peak. So what Vici Peak is an effervescent tablet, but not like an effervescent tablet you've ever seen before. Vici Peak is a self-mixing pre-workout effervescent tablet. Crowd goes crazy. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So, yeah, we make these tablets, and I want you to think of it like Red Bull going out for a night on the town, and then it's at this bar, and then across the bar is this young, beautiful Alka-Seltzer tablet. One thing led to another, and 9 months later, we've got the Vici tablet. So how that works, we've got a live demonstration here, if I can figure out what pocket I put that thing in. Okay, so you take it out of your pack. We're gonna set this down. You take it out of the pack, then you plop it into some water, and then it starts fizzing to life. Give it about 2 minutes. Should have broken it in half, made it go a little bit quicker. Anyway, give it about 2 minutes, you drink it down, tastes delicious, and then you go and work your heart out. You run faster than you've ever run. You bike farther than you've ever run. Bike farther than you've ever biked. You push harder than you've ever pushed, and you are working. And you'll really feel it. And so, I know what you guys are thinking. What's this really handsome guy who's dressed to the nines and super strong and tall, especially tall? What's he thinking he can compete in such a saturated market that is the pre-workout industry? Well, while it is competitive, it's also really repetitive. We've seen the same thing, the scoop and stir, scoop and stir. Say it with me, scoop and stir. We've been scooping and stirring all our whole life. And I want to change it to the drop and fizz. It's like jazz, drop and fizz, drop and fizz. And that's where we win. I also know that the pre-workout industry is worth $16 billion right now, and it's growing by 8.3% a year. That's $1.38 billion of growth this year. And with a new technology such as this one, oh look, it's nice and pretty now, like the spring flower blossoming. With a technology like this, it's innovative and it's more convenient. There is definitely room to grow in this massive industry. So, what I need from you guys is feedback. Yes, feedback. Well, we've been giving them out to just about anybody that wants them, but apparently you guys don't like doing surveys. So, change that mindset first. Second, me getting your guys' feedback means that I have samples. Yeah! Thank you! Okay, so if you guys come find me in the foyer, I'll be passing out samples. We got 2 tablets. We got the nutrition facts on the back. We got the survey code. You have to make an unbreakable vow, Harry Potter style, with me that you will fill out the survey. I brought my wand. So be ready for that. And then you'll get some pre-workout tablets, and you will be able to hit the stacks of iron like you've never hit them before. So thank you guys so much, and come find me out there. Office driving soon.
All right, next up we've got Hope with Metric Tracking Solutions. Let's give her a round of applause.
Okay, I don't know how I'm supposed to follow all of that, but I'll do my best. But back in October, I got a call from my brother, who is a board-certified behavior analyst, and he was talking to me about how there's this major gap in his field of applied behavior analysis. And he was telling me how in order to become a board-certified behavior analyst, you have to obtain 2,000 hours of supervised fieldwork under a current board-certified behavior analyst. And so the Behavior Analyst Certification Board doesn't provide any method of tracking these hours, although their requirements are super specific and rigid. They used to provide just like a basic Excel sheet, but it was not very user-friendly, not easy to use. And so since then, they've discontinued that, and they don't plan on providing anything else for them. And it takes on average 2 years to complete the certification. And so people are left on their own to track 2,000 hours over 2 years. And so that's when we came up with metric tracking solutions. And so over this semester, we have been developing a full stack web application that the users will enter their hours on the front end, and then on the back end, we'll just calculate all of the metrics for them and provide dynamic visuals so they can track their progress in real time. And they will get monthly reports that they would then send to their supervisors that their supervisors would sign off on. And so that's what we've been working on this semester, and so we should be deploying it within a few weeks here. And my brother has supervisees under him that will be beta testing our product to ensure a seamless user experience. And so we have like kind of an in on it with my brother being in that field. He has access to a bunch of potential users that like we can help a lot of people with our solutions. And so the key to business is like finding solutions to problems. And so we found this problem that really needs a solution. And so we've put everything into this, and yeah, thank you.
All right, so there you have it, guys. We're gonna open up the poll. Maybe, where'd it go? I know it's here somewhere. There it is. So I apologize, we do not have a QR code, but if you just go in, I know it's a lot of work, but a little typing, pollev.com/RussellFisher500, and that is Russell with 2 S's and 2 L's. So if you guys will just hop on really quick, and you're voting which Shark Tank pitch you're most impressed with. So we'll give you guys a couple minutes to do that, and here in a couple minutes we'll have the judges come out with their decisions. So hang tight for a minute, go ahead and vote. And I think it should start popping up with results, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I am. Actually, it might not pop up with the results, but you will get to see the results eventually. And again, if you can't see that, that's poll.com/RussellFisher, and then the number 500. It's full. Wow. I didn't pay the monthly fee.
Somebody was probably voting like 7 times.
All right, who voted like 45 times? Raise your hand. You're getting kicked out. Well, thanks for voting while you had the chance. How many people got to vote? Raise your hands. Okay, so a good chunk. Most.
can tell you who won. So, all right, do you want to announce?
All right, the results are in. So the winner is, drum roll please, Hayden Earls pre-workout tablets. Really well done, everyone, and yeah, congratulations.
All right, good. Oh, it works now. All right, that's well, good job, everyone. Thanks for participating. I hope that was fun. And we're so excited to have the results back with the judges. Why don't the judges have a seat? We'll do this one at a time as Emily is frantically writing out checks, which is, she's watching a YouTube video on how to write checks, because I think most of you don't know how to do that. So I think she's about done with the video, and she'll figure that out. So let's see, how close, do we know how close we are with that? I was thinking, we wrote the largest check first. We should have gone small to large, because that's what we're going to highlight them. Okay, so we're so excited for our pitchers, and so let's give them a little bit of information back. So you need to call him. Got it? Okay. It's on stage. You all heard that. So he will talk to you. You got to work with him. Any advice? You were saying one thing to look at is density, right? One thing to look at is focusing on density in one area. So who's next? It was Reagan. They love you, Reagan, so they thought you were amazing, just like everybody else. And as you look for ways to scale this, that'll be something that will be helpful to find success with this. Next is Bleeped. Is that right? Is Bleeped next? Were you next on that? No, we got this out of order, yeah. So I don't know, one of the things that we're looking at is that there might be some other technologies that we might want to have a look at, so have a conversation with Amy up here, but we think that this could be a really cool thing. And then Melissa, they just think you're amazing, and as well, so as Reagan and Melissa, I guess they're favorites, so sorry the others. So, but I just think that, what you're going to work on is scaling this and figuring out, like, how you're going to, grow this bigger than yourself. That will be a big thing. And one thing you might not have noticed, because it wasn't obvious that she's from Idaho as well, so we thought you would really like that. And last, the velocity boards, there was a conversation, but then Amy got a text from her husband saying, I want you to buy me one of those right now. And so I think that was at least some feedback there. Is that right? Okay, so congratulations with that. So let's get out the checks. Let's start with, we have 2 checks for $1,000. We're going to announce all the checks, and then we're going to take pictures. So first of all, Emily, did you want to begin? Okay. First of all, with velocity boards, we're going to give you, to help you out, $1,000 to come and build up your storyboard. Okay. Yeah. So we have you kind of build up here. You want to take pictures one at a time? I don't even want to be here. Okay, so. Okay, congratulations to them. Okay. All right. Amy. All right. Okay, next we have Juarez Home by Design. Why don't you come up here, Melissa, for another $1,000. There you go, Melissa. I'll hold this with you because there's only one of you, so go hide here. So, all right. There you go, Melissa. Congratulations. All right, and in our next group, for $1,200 to buy your $5,000 truck, we have Pure Pest Solutions. So. Do you want to come up here instead of me? Here. Come on up. Thank you, Emily. All right, and then with Level Up Learning, you have $1,200 to build this business. So there you go. right, there you go, Reagan. And last but not least, we have, believed, congratulations, $3,000 Reagan. All right, so will you, all the pictures come up here. We want you to meet with the judges first. But before we go, we want to announce as well our newest members of the 50K Club here at Utah State. So if you get the 50K Club, you get a jacket. We have an example of the jacket here that has a patch on it that says 50K on the side. I don't know if you have it right there. So we'll find it. Okay, so the three individuals is Logan Mano. Logan, are you here? I don't see Logan. Come on up, Logan. Come on up. Aaliyah. And Colton Jones, come on up. So we'll show you this, take a picture with your jackets, and then we'll actually ask you what colors you actually want, and then we'll later on, and we'll show you what the patch looks like. But these are our newest members of the 50K Club. It's the only way you can get one of these jackets with the patch. All right, if you know anyone else in that space, Reagan's got $2,000 to go before she's there. Let us know and we'll get you set up. They just got really loud. Thank you, everyone, for coming. We'll see you next week. And again, thank you for our judges for all they did. We're going to give them a little thank you right now and go get some ice cream. Thanks, everyone.